2025, Belin Memorial United Methodist Church will celebrate 100 years, a century of spreading the gospel, training up children in the way they should go, serving those inside and outside the church, and quite simply, transforming lives. This has all been made possible by the grace of God and by the faithfulness and vision of resolute leaders and members past and present. Through the years, we've worked passionately to determine and meet the ever-changing needs of those who cross our paths.
We are blessed with constant growth that most churches will never experience. We want to continue this momentum and connect with even more people now and into our next century. We want to grow even deeper as spirited followers of Christ, and we want to continue to serve Christ and seek God's kingdom. Continuing the vision of those before us, God has positioned us to be a place where minds, hands, and hearts can connect, grow, and serve. That's why we're asking you to step out in faith and take our mission and ministry to the next level. Because others in the past prepared the way for us, we are asking you to help us transform Belin Memorial for generations to come.
As a 2-year generosity project, Transform will not only support and expand the mission and ministry of this church, but will overhaul our campus and the lives we touch. So your giving over the next 2 years will both fund the day-to-day operations and programming of Belin Memorial, as well as change the footprint of our campus forever.
I'm very excited. It is so evident that God is using us, the church, to bring more people into His fold. I'm looking at the future, and I have no idea where it's going to go. And that's what makes me excited, is there's no end to what we can do.
Unfortunately, our existing facilities are just not adequate for our current demands. We are in need of renovations, expansion, and additional buildings. Our worship spaces are at capacity. In both the sanctuary and the harbor, it is not uncommon for families to be unable to worship together. Some even leave due to lack of seating. Our music ministries on both sides of the road face challenges due to inadequate space for rehearsal and worship, lack of room of additional musicians, and the inability to permanently leave equipment and instruments in place because of the multi-use of the facilities. This also has a negative impact on sound quality.
Weekly, the Belin Family Life Center has to deny requests for meetings and events. Likewise, expansion of ministries and programming just cannot occur. Classes and groups are often displaced or unable to meet due to the lack of room. Continually turning over rooms and facilities for varying uses is an added burden on staff and volunteers. Also, some staff has had to relinquish their office space to accommodate other uses, putting a strain on our already limited workforce.
So exactly what are our physical needs? For the sanctuary, it is more seating plus an enlarged chancel area and choir loft, a true and adequate rehearsal suite for our traditional music ministry, and a designated bride's room. For the harbor, it's a dedicated worship center for modern worship as well as special events.
For the Family Life Center, it is returning the building to its intended purpose, with adequate room for adult, youth, and children's programming, including an enlarged kitchen. For the staff, it is a centralized administrative space and desperately needed storage. And for our members and guests, it is convenient, consolidated parking relative to all buildings. Truly, this God-sized project can wait no longer. So how can you help us transform?
We have the ability to build this church into something even better than it is now, to help more people and to bring more people into the church. And we can only do that if we're all willing to give and make this church a better place.
Consider the role God will have you play to transform Blaine Memorial. Our goal is 100% engagement. It will take every family in our church participating for it truly to be a success.
Commit to hearing what God wants you to do in this season by praying and listening. Is God asking you to grow spiritually? What might God be asking you to do financially to make all this successful? I invite you to join us as together we transform Blaine Memorial United Methodist Church for the next century. And in doing so, it is my prayer that your life and the lives of countless others will be forever changed.
For 14 years, we've been blessed to call Blaine Memorial our church family, and you our friends, and you will forever be our friends.
These are God-sized dreams, but Betsy and I plan to be a part of it all. And our hope and our prayer is that together we'll make a difference and that we'll change lives here at Blaine Memorial.